this isn't Cossack, this is UAP representative, has said he speaks or there'll be a ruckus and he'll speak anyway.
Yeah,
so
I'm not defending his behaviour, but I know about some of the things he's done. I've spoken to some of these people that posted about it.
Yeah.
So I know about some of this stuff. I don't think it's good, but so I'm not defending that type of behaviour or anything like that. I heard about the whole drama that happened at the protest.
What do you think about the marketing, Lockie? What do you think about the marketing perspective?
I didn't even see the marketing, bro. I didn't. I barely even saw the marketing. I didn't. I just.
Can you see the perspective where it's sort of like shoving it in people's faces? I think that's the point that Mike's getting across. It's that if it was done in sort of
I think like they live streamed. I think like they live streamed the whole thing. Was like a bit. That's like a bit weird, I reckon. Like it was a bit weird. I'm on the dance floor and I'm like, I know that I'm on fucking camera and there's people watching. You know what I mean? It was like a bit of a weird type of, like that was a bit of a weird vibe, I reckon, just with the whole live stream going on. Like, why the hell would you live stream a ball? You know what I mean? Obviously, I did enjoy the event. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the event. I just thought that was a bit of a weird aspect to it,
Not for me, but again, for everyone. Like, I didn't care. But if you had heard me speak at any protest, so even the last one I did, we're running out of time because Graham Hood spoke for about 15 minutes. Much love, Graham. But every speaker had 4 minutes and Graham spoke for 15. I went on for 1 minute only. And that was to say thank you to the crowd for coming. Thank you guys for coming. If you didn't come, there'd be no event. It's you guys out there that are coming, that are sharing the posts. It's not me. It's not you. It's not Avi. We're nothing without the people. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you have a poster saying, this is for the VIPs, guys. VIPs, Black Ball, red carpet event. And you can come and meet these people if you pay $500. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
It was more more targeted towards like
rich people
that want to.
Yeah.
Want to.
Well, just send it to them, Lockie. Just send it to them. Don't put it on social media for everyone to see.
That's pretty. The $500 thing was the one thing that I thought was a bit of a fucking weird vibe. That's for sure. I mean, the $500 thing was a bit.
One thing that I heard,
very pretentious.
One thing that I did hear, and that I haven't looked at the live stream. I didn't see it happen because I got there a bit later. Was Chris Covery's got he got move on, so I'm going to invite him in to see what he has to say about that situation because I have no idea what happened there. So, Chris, what actually
can I just mention before you talk, Chris? Can I just say I met Chris a year and a half ago. I was watching his videos, getting smacked out at BLM rallies, transvestite rallies, save the tree rallies, or whatever. They're all bashing him, chasing him, and he came to our rallies, and he was a nice bloke. I said, I don't even know what team you're on, mate. I don't know if you're on our team against us, but I'll talk to you. I'll answer your questions, and so did everyone in the crowd. So that's the relationship we've had with Chris for 18 months. Chris is a guy that comes and films our rallies, and that's it. No dramas. So go on, Chris.
No, that's fair. What happened, Chris?
Oh, last night. Arrived there early. Got the tip off early. So about an hour before the event, start my live stream. I'm across the other side of the road of a cul-de-sac. Perfectly fine. I've got myself a snacks, folding chair, very low rent, and waited for the guest to arrive so that I could be like, hey guys, coming in the Freeland Ball, what are you up to? My normal stick where I like talking to people about why they're there.
So you full camped out. You had your snacks, folding chairs, all sorts.
Yep.
You crack me up, mate.
Usual
go on. Yeah.
I had my my golden pash, very very high end chips, a complete contrast to what was happening inside, and I thought that was going to be quite what I like doing, which is showing contrasts. From the moment I got there, security were on alert. Now, maybe it was just how security is, but this was something different. So I didn't start up my 360 camera, which I normally have in my head. And within a moment of crossing the road and getting within even 15 meters of security, he starts coming and saying, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You can't be here. You need to get out of here. Oh, g'day. My name's Chris. Here's my car. I'm going to be streaming the event. You got a big event here tonight, so I'm going to be getting some snaps. Like, you can't be here. You need to get well away from here, out of here. And he starts chasing me. I'm not even joking when I'm talking about chasing me. I mean, he is literally chasing after me and trying to break my bloody phone.
Oh, is this what happened?
Yeah, I'll see if I can get this playing for you. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'll get that working. But he's literally trying to chase me and get me to grab after my phone. Picks up the phone, calls 000. Okay, no problem. Wait for the cops to arrive. I'm just trying to do my cheery live stream out the front. When the cops do eventually get there, which is about 30 minutes later, after I've had some great conversations with people that have seen me before, they say, listen, we've spoken with the organizer and they've asked us to come by because we understand that you're harassing their guests. Now, if you look at my live stream, I've had lovely conversations with people just about general conversation. 4 out of the 5 people that I spoke with had seen me before at previous protests. Now, I tried to confirm, you've spoken with the organizer. Is that right, officers? I said, yes, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you a move on direction. And I said, did you speak to the organizers before or after the guy said that he was trying to break my phone for filming them? And he said, look, it doesn't matter, mate. I'm giving you a move on direction. You need to leave the area. Now, hold judgment for a moment because maybe Aussie Cossack Simeon didn't know. Absolutely. So I dropped him a text message. I say, Simeon, just been given a move on direction by officers who said that the organizers have been called and asked to come by. And they've spoken with the organizers. Wanted to let you know that at your venue, a move on direction was given by police to leave your event. And I thought a 40%, 50% chance that he would find time at the event because I called everyone out who would be inside. Like 3 or 4 different people. Just like, if you know Simeon's there, please come see me. And he'd give me a call and say, hey, Chris, we don't mind being in the area or anything else like that. I got a fairly prompt text reply at 7:26 p.m. Bye-bye. 2 words, bye-bye. So Simeon...
He texted you saying bye-bye?
Yes. So he knew that I was at the event. He knew that police had been called by the organizers, or the police said that they were called by the organizers. He knew I'd been ejected by police and given a move on direction. Did nothing to resolve the situation. So you can reasonably conclude that if Simeon isn't the organizer, someone else is. But let me just cut it very short for Instagram. Simeon called the cops on me and asked me to leave for chatting outside his own freedom ball.
What, mate? That's bonkers. If that's true, that's ridiculous. Why do you think he'd have it in for you to do that? What's the...
Yeah, Chris, why?
Yeah, why, Chris? Why? Tell us, do share.
My reporting is honest. I'm
Chris,
not the
Chris
good news network.
Balls. Chris got some balls, that's why.
What happened? What's going on? I feel like I'm missing something here.
My reporting has been honest. So when I saw what I judged to be within my realm of expertise, which is protest, I've been to over 100 different protests over the past couple of years, and I analysed an incident which he was involved with, and I judged him to have caused the incident at Michael's rally. Well, I got a call from him, unprompted, at 1:45, where he roundly said, well,
Hello.
Okay, I got to go, guys, because I've got a son. But
see you later.
Good chat.
Not a problem. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Speak to you soon. Cheers, mate. Sorry, go on, Chris. So it's to do with the protest, yeah. So when the commotion happened a few weeks ago, that's what you're saying. That's when it was. And Zach's going to come in soon.
I judged what happened as that it was an incident with the police that didn't need to occur. What I saw from Simeon's own videos that he posted is that he led a group of his followers at someone else's protest, away from the protest that will return to Hyde Park. He didn't continue with the rest of the group back to the main protest area. Police want to know, more important than anything else, where the crowd is going to be and what they're going to do. It is very important to them because the first priority of most police is order first, law comes second. So when they don't know what this group is doing, they're now going to have back in their command office 2 different protests, and they're not prepared for that. They've got a plan. Everything's about a plan with police. You've got a plan. You've got to follow the plan. Plan. This is not going to plan. What are you doing? So that's what happens is the inspector goes over and says, Simeon, what are you doing? You've got to return to the park. And Simeon goes, I can stand wherever I want to. Okay, well, you can do that, but the police don't want you to do that, and they're worried about this descending into something else. You're underneath the federal court. You're within visual distance of Parliament post-January 6th. This is a hot topic now. We're just a bit sensitive in police operations. So they ask him to return a second time, and he refuses. And that's when the incident starts getting out of hand because the police that line then says, no, you go remove to the park, and they slowly start marching forward, march. And Simeon takes the loudspeaker, and when you're in charge as a leader, you're responsible for what happens to the group. So he takes his loudspeaker and he says to them, hold the line, resist, hold the line. And people who have not been to protest before, who have not been to public order and riotous situations, are left in a violent experience that they didn't expect to get into. So they're pushed by police and they don't know what to do, and they're shocked and they're pushed backwards and forwards. And it's something they are not prepared for, and they're horrified, fairly so. And they don't know how they got there. Simeon didn't take a liking to this reporting, and well, he made clear what he thought of it to me.
Okay, so just to recap that. So yeah, so it was your reporting of that day that Simeon didn't like. And when you came to the Freedom Ball just last night, he essentially he was the one that called the cops on you, essentially, is what you're saying.
I'm cutting it short to the most plausible conclusion with everything. I'm at an event, I'm live streaming from across the road or more than 20 meters away. The police have informed me that the organizers have called the police, and the organizers have said that I'm harassing and intimidating guests. If I might add, I'm quite pleased. I didn't realize I'm a fairly slight frame, so I didn't realize I could be so intimidating by asking people why they're coming. So, next protest, you see me. So quite the. Are you intimidated? Lockie's scared. Look at him.
Do you think there's a possibility where Simeon was with a megaphone and crowd came towards him as he's a popular figure, surrounded him, he started chanting to the crowd, and police came to control that crowd as it was a crowd outside of the normal crowd? I haven't seen the video, so just explain that to me. I haven't seen it at all.
So is it plausible? I spend 40 minutes analyzing this in a video. It's on Facebook, it's also on YouTube as well, and I'm going frame by frame through this to consider different alternatives, watching people getting pushed backwards and forwards, also looking at it from the police inspector's side, Inspector Asima Kopoulos's, also looking at it from I think it was Inspector Harrison, which was the second one there. What else could they have done differently? And when you get to the end of it was this really so important for public order and riot to
I think we just lost his audio. There we go. Yep.
This is what happens when people
Your
call me
audio's
in the
back.
middle
You
of
just cut out for 2 seconds.
the stream. Was it really that important for Ozzy Cossack to hold that statue location at that time? Why couldn't he return to the park? Ultimately, the police are a steamroller. Police just march. They don't. There's no room for interpretation. And secondly, when you are a leader of a group, as Simeon and Ozzy Cossack is, you're responsible for what happens to them. They're looking for you with direction. When you're holding a loudspeaker, as Lockie knows, when you're marching along Bondi Beach, if he tells them to march into the sea and you're holding the loudspeaker, Lockie, they'll follow you. And if they then go and drown, we will hold you responsible for that. If you lead them into danger, we point to you, not them.
Definitely.
Let's get Zach in there so we can get a Melbourne perspective. and before we close out. But what do you think, Lockie, regarding the move on last night? Zach, how are you, mate?
I
hope
think
you've
that he
been
was expecting Chris to turn up because he really doesn't like Chris because of this things he's posted about Chris. He really wanted to, really wanted to get rid of him. I felt bad. I actually called Chris afterwards. I felt bad, but he didn't really want to talk about it. I was calling you to try and see if you're okay. You just didn't want to talk about it,
I didn't want to talk about it. I was disappointed in the realization of, even when a man who's made his career on being a victim of police, oftentimes that he's incited, is more viral and more shareable than when that same man calls the police because he doesn't want someone outside his venue that he's got an opinion about. It's more important, and it's the Russian man funny getting attacked by police is far more interesting than anything else. And that's just the reality, and that's sad. But it'll be better tomorrow.
I want to hear Zach's opinion.
Zach, what's happening? Looking up from Melbourne, and someone said, "Why am I scared to get front man on?" I'm not scared of getting anyone on. Go on, Zach. Talk to us, mate. What do you see from Melbourne? Looking up at these crazy Sydney siders.
Yeah, I didn't come on here to have much to say other than, for the last 3 days, essentially my Insta feed has just been about this ball, and there's been a lot of outrage, and I can purely understand that, and I can already hear the comments saying, "Oh, stop sitting on the fence," but there's been a lot of outrage. And I can understand why people are quite upset. I do think that there was a bit of poor taste. I watched some of the ball, and to be honest, it was cringy. It was like watching a Year 10 formal to some degree.
There's way too many old people and not enough activists.
Yeah. At the same time, also everybody is sitting there going, "Well, absolutely everybody there was a shill and this and that." And I mean, that's not the case at all. I think that's a bit too far. Was it a bit of a political move and a bit of a political campaign? And let's see how many of these influencers we can get back in the UAP. More than likely, probably, yeah. But here's my point. 3 days. 3 days has been on my newsfeed. It's become like a soap opera, and everybody's yelling at everybody, and you're a shill, and this person's a shill, and well, this is in bad taste, and well, no, these people are just this and that. We got 25 days. 25 days until they start injecting 5 to 11-year-olds with mRNA, and we want to spend 3 days talking about a stupid ball. I'm sorry. Who cares? The ticket price is $500. Who cares? Don't go. Don't go. Apparently, this is a freedom movement. If somebody who is potentially a shill wants to hold a ball and make people pay $500 to come, who cares? Wow. We got way more important things to talk about. Seriously. That's really all I had to say. I tried to get that.
That's on a Lockie sentiment. That's really Lockie asked for a different perspective, and there you go. You got it. Your thoughts, Lockie.
The answer is to why you care about the optics of this is because this is the public-facing front of the cause that you are concerned about. It's not the people at the ball that you're concerned about. It's not the people looking at the ball you're concerned about. It's everyone who is unconvinced. Any protest movement entire point is to recruit people to the cause of what you're trying to do. The protest is not there for the protesters themselves. It's because you don't have the money to try and spread the message further. It's demonstrating force of will, what your message is about, and everyone who is not convinced or in the middle, that middle third that you're trying, any protest is trying to look for, the undecideds, is looking at this ball, and that public perception matters. Is that how you want your movement to be seen and perceived?
I understand that too. And that's why I said, I don't think personally it was that much of a good look. More so what I'm baffled by is the fact that it's been 3 days, and this still seems to be the only thing I've seen anybody from the freedom movement talk about for literally 3 days. I don't think I've seen anybody talk about anything else. And like I said, and I just saw Romeo put in the comments, the most important thing right now is the kids. It's the children. 25 days until they start injecting 5 to 11-year-olds. I think we should be more focused on that. This is to me, a bit of a, distraction. And not every single endeavor is worth dissecting to the nth degree. Now, I understand why people want to talk about it, why people want to air it out, but 3 days 3 days, this is all I've seen on my Instagram feed from people in this movement.
Well, I didn't hear anything about it till today. I didn't hear anything about the outrage until today.
This is the biggest story in this segment going. And to keep in mind, there's only one person driving this story. No one here organized this event. This was organized, call it the UAP, call it semi-boycott, call it Aussie. He created this media service, and everyone's pointing at everyone else reporting on it. This is the biggest story going. This is made for television, for live stream, for photos. I mean, what more could you have than an amazing plinth of VIP celebrities of a grassroots movement? This is viral. This is amazing content. And to say, don't report on it, don't look, don't look, don't look. This is viral. This is what we live for. And no one is creating this circus except for, well, the person behind the ringleader.
So it's like a car. You're saying that it's a car crash that you can't really look away. It's tough to look away, even though that we should look away. It's almost impossible due to human nature and the event itself. Why do you think it was marketed like this, then, Chris?
If no one saw the bad,
to retain attention, or to take attention off something else, or why?
Some subscribe to the all publicity is good publicity, even bad publicity is good publicity. Maybe Simeon does subscribe to that as well.
It's got to be part of that, surely.
But for everyone else, that doesn't work out. That doesn't cut through. For everyone else, they've got their own areas which are all trying to contribute to this movement, their own segments. Public opinion is a lot like wind, and everyone's trying to catch some. And public opinion shifts and changes, and everyone's out there on the ocean with their yacht trying to catch it where they can. And Simeon's got the largest boat in town right now, and he's got the fireworks coming off it, and lions jumping off into the ocean and jumping back on board, and it's exciting. Everything's happening. Look at everything, and we're all trying to catch some of his air. All the influencers are trying to do their own thing. Some are trying to do the news thing. Some are trying to do the activism thing, or whatever it is. But it's all happening, and everyone's looking to Simeon as saying, well, we've got to follow his lead. Everyone here seems to be following that. I'm chasing the stories. Everyone's chasing these stories. But anyone who reports on it in even slightly negative light, they're not making the decisions to do this thing. They're not making the actions. They're not paying for this to happen. And to say that if anyone reports on it is distracting from the major issues, well, who organized the ball? Who started it? We're just chasing it. Maybe instead of looking at the 1,000 other people all talking about it, just look at the one person who isn't. Does he even use the word vaccine ever?
Well, I think what Chris pointed out there is a really, really good point. And, you know, the thing is, as I say, like, all publicity, even negative publicity, is good publicity. If you were really outraged by this ball, which I do understand, the best thing you could do, in my opinion, at least my humble opinion, is to stop giving it the airtime, stop giving it the time and attention, because ultimately you're just drawing more attention to the Cossack. And what I think is extremely interesting, and I don't usually, you know, say names or anything like that. I don't like trying to call people out or anything like that. But if I had one point to make, is that I have seen the Cossack stir up more of a shitstorm in the last few weeks than probably any other influencer or person with a person that's got like a platform in these whole 2 years of this quote unquote freedom movement. And right now, it literally is all eyes on the Cossack.
The thing is, though, he's got the biggest audience. I mean, there's no way around it. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really any way around the fact he's got the biggest megaphone. Like,
not necessarily. Is he? Do you reckon Cossack's bigger than Rukshan?
I have to have a look at the views. I mean, Cossack's 140,000 subscribers. It's pretty big.
It's not just about numbers. It's not just about numbers. It's about mind share, and you have to analyze it a little bit more than just pure numbers, because what Cossack has behind him more than any other influencer is ad revenue and political revenue. It's not just that when you drive past, whenever he's stopped by police, he inevitably has one supporter that will say, "On your Cossack." No one else that anything like that. It is only Aussie Cossack that gets the YouTube ad revenue on the order of 15,000 a month. I'm sorry about the interruptions, but a prank caller I have no doubt. Simeon calls me from time to time. I have no doubt that someone is going to try. But if it, he has the upper revenue. Please take over.
Living in that head rent free, brother. I get what you're saying, Chris. I get what you're saying. Romeo says, if only knew the truth.
Yeah.
Romeo, we need to know what. Yeah,
What
of
is
course.
it?
We
Well, it's
all
yeah.
want to know.
Diego, I've said I've said my piece because I only had just that
Yeah.
short thing. I'm happy to jump off and let somebody on,
Yeah.
but can I just plead with everybody watching this? After today, just get it all out of your system. Let's refocus on what's important. Ultimately, this ball, I don't think it's that important. I think most of the people watching this live right now, they probably don't trust the people that organize the ball or that were behind the ball. And if that's the case, then do not support them. Do not give them airtime. Do not give them attention. That's simple.
I don't trust the UAP or the organisers of the ball either. But I just think it's ridiculous that people are so outraged by it. I don't trust it. I saw what Romeo said about them. I don't trust them at all. I think they're, funded by Clive Palmer. It's very dodgy. So I don't trust the whole political party behind it.
Yeah. All right. Peace out, guys.
All right. See you, Zach. See you, mate. Cheers for coming on.
Can I carry on a little bit more
Let
on
me-
the statistics and analysis of the mind share of not just movement, but more
And I'm
people
going to get
watch
Romeo.
Aussie.
No,
More
no.
people watch-
Give Chris a couple more minutes.
Give me a moment to mention that more people watched Aussie Cossacks videos last month than Friendly Geordies. And Friendly Geordies, until recently, was the most influential political commentator for males aged 18 to 35 in Australia. To say that he should not be given airtime is the same kind of commentary as to say not to give Friendly Geordies airtime as many others. How
It's possible.
do you block prank callers? I'm going to have to learn how to deal with this.
Do not disturb. Front. Who's front man?
Oh, it is.
Is that right? So do you reckon he's got more views in the last month than Friendly Geordies?
Yes, more people viewed him in the last month, viewed his videos in the last month than Friendly Geordies, and that means something. That means something.
People kick him out of the movement. You can't get rid of someone like that. How do you get rid of them?
Wait,
this
look
is-
at here, Chris. Romeo
I don't
says he
trust
doesn't
you.
trust you.
Romeo doesn't trust.
That's okay.
I know Chris. I trust Chris. I can vouch for him. He's definitely not a Freemason.
My reporting isn't directly about trust. It's about evidence. The information that I've given in this call is either from a primary source or statistics that I've posted on my page. It's not about my level of trust in what I do. That's why I post for you to make up the conclusion. I post the live stream end to end because everyone, including myself, had enough of 30-second, 30-minute cuts. A video edit suite has an enormous amount of power to shift how things work. It's also why I don't do as many of them except when necessary.
Well, hold on. Also, just further on this little subject, Romeo, you can't say you don't trust Chris, and then I keep sending you an invite for you to enter here to discuss it, and then you reject it and decline it. Like that's a bit ridiculous. So
Sure,
you've been sent like a. No, I've literally sent him 5 requests to come on, and he's declined
Romeo,
it
you
each
got to
time.
come on. Stop asking you. Come on. I want to hear what you got to say. Shut up, Chris.
Ro-
It wasn't.
It says he declines it.
Shutting up
Come on,
about this
Romeo.
issue won't resolve the concerns people have. People have these concerns, whether they're based on truth or falsehoods. That's not the point. These concerns need to be addressed, and that's best done talking them through. Calls for unity often sound like calls for submission. Calls for resolving division often sound like calls to fall in line. And this is where people are starting to realize that an anti-authoritarian movement is beginning to express authoritarian views. And these are the concerns people have, and they're not being addressed. It's only through addressing these concerns that something might be able to be done about it. But unity without reason starts to look a lot like dictatorship. That's
So
what
Romeo's
people
got
seem to be
a
having.
lot to say in message, but he's got nothing to say on video.
Yeah, and also the people saying add frontman, I've tried to add him about 10 times. It's just not working. But Romeo, I've sent. Here we go. There he is.
What's going on, boys?
How are you, mate? I haven't met you before. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
What's your take, mate?
What are we talking on? I've just jumped in.
You haven't been watching the live the ball yesterday.
And I got booted. So you're talking about this free dumb ball?
The freedom ball, yeah.
Yeah, it was a wank fest, mate. It sends the wrong message. Yeah, it just does. And I mean, look, it's not about followers, Lockie. You know what I mean, mate? I think you're missing the point there. It's just sending the.
Do you think I just do this for followers? Is that what you think this is about?
Hey, go on.
Or do you think I do this for followers?
Well, you said that before. You said about RVME having more followers. And
well, no,
right.
but that's just a pure.
RVME's past? Do you know his past?
Well, I think on a pure practical level, I mean, some of these influencers are massive. They have a massive voice. Like his past, I don't really care about his past. If he's going to stand up to vaccine mandates, that's all I care. I don't really care what his past is. You know, I'm that desperate. I'll turn to anyone at this point who's willing to stand against the vaccine mandate and against all this tyranny. I don't care what their past is. If they've got a big megaphone and they can shout and get people aware of what's going on, I couldn't care less what their past is. I don't care if he's killed Palestinians on the border or, you know, he used to be a soldier in the Israeli.
And that in lies the problem. I'm not going to come on like you and go bang, bang, bang. We have a mature discussion. I talk, you talk, Chris talks, Diego talks. Do you know what I mean? But I think you're missing the point, mate. You can't have someone running a movement, right, or being a key figure in a movement which has been hijacked and has now become a political campaign by the UAP. Now, you can't have a freedom ball with $500, you know, tickets and invitation only, right? Where's the how it doesn't send a message of freedom, mate? Do you know what I mean? So the way that I look at it, and this is only my view, and everyone can share their own opinion. That's fine. No issues with that. But the way that I view it, Kozak's been around for 2 months. Now, I don't expect you to know Simeon's background, okay? I don't expect you to know it. Not many people do. But if you know the story about the protests and about, you know, how he's now linked up with Craig Kelly and he's his front man, right? And he's hosted this ball, right? He knows exactly what he's doing. And if he doesn't, then he's too stupid to be in a position of influence. That is the issue. Do you know what I mean, Lockie? And RV Enemy saying that you don't care if it's Palestinians, it's a horrible thing to say. And we're not going to get...
It's not relevant to what's going on right now.
Relevant to a freedom. 100% it is. Definitely.
Why is it relevant? I just say he's the biggest megaphone. If he's got a massive megaphone, well, what are you going to do? Stop him? Like, what's your suggestion? Tap him on the street and drag him away? Kidnap him because he may or may not have killed some Palestinians in Israel?
You need to look. You need to understand. You need to understand, right? The Palestinian-Israel conflict has been going on for a long time, and he has admitted, saying, "Shoot him in the head, shoot him in the heart." That is not someone you want as an activist in a grassroots movement, which should be for the people, and has been hijacked by the UAP for political votes. They are using the freedom movement for that. Chris, what's your take on it, mate? Because I saw you there yesterday, but your internet was in and out a little bit, mate. What's your take on this?
What are you willing to give up to get where you're going? And this is true of any protest movement. Black Lives Matter in America quickly got co-opted by Antifa, and we saw where that went to. At the same time, Black Lives Matter, using the help of Antifa and violence, arson, rioting, achieved more change in 6 months than the previous maybe 60 years of slow, calm political lobbying. At the same time, that burnt bright, but for half as long, because now the backlash begins from the other side. Your goal of your protest movement is to achieve a removal of vaccine mandates, but change any one thing, and you will often change 3 others. So you'll be willing to work with Simeon, Craig Kelly, whoever it might be to get where you're going, but it always comes with baggage and other different ulterior motives, good or bad. And why this cause might be so important for so many, they may not be looking at the other causes that come with it. And that's something you've really got to weigh up. For a lot of single issue voters, it doesn't matter any number of other backgrounds of what's been in the past, as long as vaccine mandates get removed. For others,
look,
though,
I think if I know what you're saying. You have to be willing to use these people with, like you said, with a big megaphone to get what you want. The problem is, I believe, right, in my opinion, and if you look into it, you may be able to see certain things. They're going to get rid of the mandates. They already got rid of the mandates in Sydney, right? And they're going to get mandates in Melbourne. Okay, it's not just the mandates, not just the passports. It's the fact that I believe, right, boosters will definitely be on the rollout with Omicron coming in. There's a whole range of things in the background, right? But I don't think a freedom movement, a proper grassroots freedom movement, will be needing to have UAP all over it and vote for this guy, vote for this guy. How did this turn into a political campaign? How did we get so far away?
Well, there has to be politics involved. I don't trust the United States, but there has to be some sort of political movement involved, surely.
To a degree, right? To a degree. But, I mean, how far away is the federal election? How far away are all the state elections? You know, the amount of money that's been taken in donations, which we have no receipts for, okay, and the amount of numbers we had, I think it was on the 26th or 7th of November, with hundreds of thousands, and all we did for 3 or 4 hours is rock up with the same speakers, okay, and we didn't really get anywhere. We had the numbers, right? My main concern, and this was a big red flag for me, about, and I'll ask you, Lockie, and you tell me what you reckon, mate, as you just suck on the bottle cap there, right?
Yeah.
You tell me this, right? Do you think it was correct to have the 2 Australian flags there, the red and the blue, and then the what was the third flag they had there last night?
Eureka flag.
Eureka. I didn't see a First Nations flag, right? I didn't see Aussie Cossack say anything about the First Nations. Okay, completely disrespectful. It does look, Lockie. This is about sending the right message, and as we know,
why is it disrespectful?
Excuse me.
Why is that disrespectful?
Wasn't it just blue flags? I think it was just blue flags. I don't think there was red flags
or
other flags.
Eureka, Australia, 1901.
I didn't. Yeah,
original.
Why is it disrespectful not to have an Australian flag?
No, I wasn't saying it was disrespectful to have an Australian flag. I was saying disrespectful.
No, not having an Aboriginal flag. Sorry, why is it disrespectful?
The fact that you're asking that question is just mind blowing, Lockie. Seriously?
If I host a party, would it be disrespectful to have an Australian flag and not an Aboriginal flag?
If you have the UAP there, and if you are having a freedom ball and you're putting yourself out there as an influencer, it is disrespectful. They give freedom to. They have the Aboriginal flag, and they give the welcome to country just about everywhere. So to say,
so because everyone else does it, it must be super disrespectful not to do it.
It is disrespectful, yes.
Like, I think it's,
you don't have to share the same opinion, Lockie. I'm not going to argue, right? This is an open forum on Diego's Live. Thanks for having us on, and we're just back and forth, right? But the point I'll make is that was a big red flag. Do you know what I'm saying? A massive red flag. It was no respect, right? And he's putting himself. Thing is, if you're going to put yourself out there, like Cossack, and like the other organisers, as leaders and influencers, you need to send the right message. Just about sending the right message. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's about sending the right message. Because we had a whole bunch of, we had staged, what was it, the gallows at Parliament, right? We had Trump flags. What happens then? The media comes in, right? The media comes in and paints us as far right-wing extremists. 2 to 3 days later, the Greens, Samantha, and Daniel Andrews, the great beard man himself, comes out and says, they're all far-right extremists. How are we far-right extremists? There's only a small percentage infiltrate us and are making us look bad to try and destroy the movement. And then I don't believe in the narrative of the whole left and the right. It's the wing of the same bird for me, right? But if you want to play that narrative, the right and the left, right, then the people on the left and the people that actually may wake up if the booster is mandated and want to come protest with us, they're not going to want to protest with us with all the stupid shit we've been doing, Lockie. It's about sending the correct message, man, and if we're going to hold the government and the mandates accountable, we have to hold ourselves accountable, man. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. That's my point.
And why the Greens may not be important, because you won't be able to recruit that 33%, or that third left of politics, you won't be able to agree with them. Why? What they say is important is that the middle third do listen to them. That's what you're trying to gain influence over. You've got the 10, 20 something, 10 or 15% of the population already. What you're trying to do is to get that needle from 10 to 15 to 20 to 25, and to capture that kind of tipping point. And until you find a set of policies and opinions that appeals to more than 10%, more than 20%, more than 30% of people, you're not going to get there to where you need to be, because you need that center. You need them. And you'll say, oh, but they're moderates and they don't support the cause of what you do. Well, great, but they'll oppose everything that you have, and you'll never get your policies through. And if you just want to have protests that are generally for your own niche, 10% of people, great, you've already got that. How are you going to win the middle?
And that's what it's about. That's pretty much the point I made. So, look, I've got other things, subscribing that I believe are at 90, but that's irrelevant to the conversation, Chris, right? But yeah, it's about finding that middle ground. And if we're coming across in a certain way, it's gonna turn people off. Do you know what I mean? We had a real opportunity with the bill, and the reason we had so many numbers was the pandemic. And that was obviously railroaded by Adam Somyurek and Catherine Cummings. Even though they voted against the bill, there were things happening behind the scenes. Stall the bill. Because why would Somyurek come out on social media and say he's going to stop the bill? You would just roll up and vote, right? So then they gave him an extra 2 weeks to get the man Rob Barden, we all know what he got offered, to get the pandemic legislation in. And what that does, that's a precedent for every other state to have government overreach of powers, right? Whether you believe the vaccine is bad or not, it's about lockdowns, it's about the economy, stimulating the economy. That's what it's all about, and mental health. Simple as that. That's what it's about. And I don't think if you're going to hold a freedom ball, it just sends the wrong message. It really does.
Speaking of,
so we get Romeo on. Can we invite Romeo? Romeo's got to say in message, but he doesn't seem to want to come on. Can we get him on? Or is,
I'm happy to.
Is that ship sailed long ago?
No, I appreciate it. Definitely. Yeah, I know. I think Romeo is just. I've invited him 6 times, man. He doesn't come on. He'll say stuff about Chris, but then he won't hop on.
That's okay.
Not having a dig, Romeo. Just come on.
What I was going to say about optics, which does matter about how things are marketed, is that even the Taliban, about as authoritarian as you can really get, when their new media liaison came to power in what was a military coup and invasion, he gave press releases that spoke of diversity and inclusion. He spoke of women's equality. He spoke of everything that you'd expect to hear out of a corporate social responsibility media release, except here he was representing about his authoritarian right movement. And when we're talking about chopping up people's hands for theft, we're talking about female genital mutilation, which is part of policy, speaking about diversity and inclusion in a press conference. Optics matter.
They matter. That's a whole thing. Optics do matter. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to head off, guys. I'm going to get some work done.
Thanks for the chat, mate. Too easy. Laters, brother.
And to the people in the comment section saying it's the most sense I've talked, when I really want to talk politics and really want to talk about proper things, I have that ability. Sometimes I like to bring a bit of a lyric and comedic aspect to things because I get messages from people saying they love how I can make them laugh in their lives and they've had mental health issues and stuff like that. That's why I've done a lot of lives lately. I was going to stop, but that's why, okay? But look, at least Lockie now can go away, Diego and Chris, and have a think about things. Hopefully we've planted some seeds, you know what I mean? So you can actually maybe take a step back from the bullshit and look at things and say, well, that's not right. Maybe I should question that. Do you know what I mean? It's important.
100%. 100%. It's tough, man. I guess from the, I also believe like people do make mistakes. I think people can move on. I think, as Zach said, 25 days until they essentially go for the kids. I think that should be the focus. I think we covered a lot on this live. We put forward. There was cases put forward for both sides, and Anthony wants to come on here.
I think Romeo just wanted me to stay on. I don't know why. Is Romeo sent a request as well?
Yeah, he did. All right, I'll get Romeo.
Get Romeo in, and then I'll jump out and you can get Anthony in. But how are you, Habib?
Go from, man. How you going?
Good, brother.
Who's the
How you
bloke
doing, Ron?
I left?
Chris.
No, Chris is down the bottom.
Me?
Diego.
Yeah.
Through to me? Diogo.
Yeah. Nice to meet
How
you.
are you, Romeo? Pleasure, mate. How
Good.
you doing?
Good.
You been well?
You know what? I trust you, Chris, because I'm not here to waste fucking time. Because I was driving fires when you fuckers were just sitting down doing nothing, right? I was fucking trying to get food to the fire-affected communities, raise $2.9 million while you fuckers weren't doing nothing because it didn't affect you, right? This is not for the front man. It's not for you. This is straight at you, Chris. Did you or did you not say that Simeon gives me hits? Huh? Did you or did you not say it? Did you or did you not?
Simeon gives me hits.
Backing up exactly what I said. I'm here to speak the truth. I don't give a motherfucking fuck what you people say. I don't give a rat's ass because I've been doing this because I believed in the children way before all you fuckers affected you. When the farmers were dying, you fuckers laughed at me when I was fighting for them because it doesn't affect us. We get our meat from Coles and Woolworths. Didn't affect you then. When the bushfires happened, that fucking idiot drove through the fires to get to the fire-affected communities. Am I gloating? Fuck off, I'm gloating because I deserve it. Because I left my wife and kids and drove my motherfucking ute through the fire to get to the fucking community, right? And that fucking imbecile, that Lachlan, what's he achieved besides walking at Bondi Beach saying, shove that vaccine up your ass? Who the fuck has he helped? Eh? Who are all these fucking influencers that went to this fucking ball while a woman burnt herself alive in Melbourne?
Werribee.
Eh? What are they fucking celebrating? Is the war over, you fucking imbeciles? Is the war over to celebrate? Is this V-Day?
So I think that if I can sort through some of the profanity, if I can.
Why do you come up to me on? Why do you come up to me?
Question.
Why do you come up to me? And Lachlan, how dare he say I don't give a shit that kids were killed in Palestine? You have somebody that represents freedom in Australia but oppresses the Palestinians' right to freedom. Are you fucking people insane? Are you fucking people stupid? The shit that comes out of your mouth is unbelievable. Do you know anything about Simeon? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you straight. It was me that introduced Simeon to Craig. He called me 6 times, begged me. Because Craig, that fat son of a bitch, sat at my table. At my table. And when I realized quickly exactly what was going on, you know why there's no fucking Aboriginal flag at the Freedom Ball? Because they want their land. They want to keep them oppressed. What happened, Chris? You got all quiet now. I know exactly what the fuck's going on. Every single one of you fuckers is after hit. Not one of you sons of bitches want to do anything for the Australian people. Right? You're all on here. Why have I gone quiet? Because give them enough rope and the motherfuckers will hang themselves. That's why I've gone quiet. But when
Romeo, rather than using volume and profanity at my people, I tend to use evidence analysis.
I do it because I got
that
3
evidence
children.
analysis
I
is a
got
lot
3
louder than
motherfucking children
shouting, because
that I gotta fucking take care of. Which one of these motherfuckers
convincing
got
tool
kids?
for the audience I'm looking for. The audience I'm looking for
Which children?
appreciates more of a
Fuck the whole lot of
calmer,
you.
slower paced approach. I don't know why we're shouting right now about this, but
fuck Simeon, fuck the whole lot of you. You're all fake ass motherfuckers and should be exposed for exactly what you're doing. Craig Kelly is going to sell all you fuckers out, and I know it. I know it because he sold me out. Why? God forbid Romeo lost his job and wanted to ask for a job. God forbid Romeo supplies an income for his family to take care of his children. But that's not why I walked away. The reason why I walked away is I asked the hard questions. What are you going to do if you don't win? Guess where your votes are going, you fucking imbeciles? Straight to the Liberals. Straight to the Liberals. Right? Why aren't you talking about the Aboriginal people? Because the son of a bitch was making $3.6 billion on Aboriginal land in Western Australia. But none of you want to talk about it. No. Romeo got upset with Craig because he didn't give him a job. Go fuck yourselves. I got a job. But there's nothing wrong with asking, considering I built the UAP. Me! I built the fucking thing. right? And I will destroy this fucking thing because it's more corrupt than the devil himself. So to Craig
Spot on.
Kelly and Clive Palmer and Simeon and everybody else, especially you, Chris, the bloke that makes himself out to be my friend, but purposely ignores me. You don't think I see? I see everything. I got motherfucking eyes at the back of my head. I'm 48 years old and I've been around and I've fucking walked with the devil. That's why I recognize each and every single one of you fuckers. And for that Lockie to come on and say, who cares if he shot who cares if he shot Palestinian children? These are children. You got a bloke here fighting for freedom while fucking shooting Palestinian kids. Are you insane? Are you insane? Fucking, I'm off. I'll say what I have to say. Wake the fuck up, everybody. Don't follow anyone. Follow yourselves. Follow your heart. Fight for your children and your family. And fuck people like Chris and Simeon and fucking Joel Jammer and every single motherfucker on here. Fuck them all. Follow yourselves. I'm out.
Wait, what did I do? What did I do? Well, nice to meet you.
Not you.
I'll speak to you soon.
Right?
I hear you. Hey, Romeo.
He's gone. There you go, guys.
How's it going?
Bang. Look, he's a passionate
Chris.
man, and a lot of what he said is true.
I don't agree. I don't agree that volume, profanity, or shouting is truth. It's passion, and there can be truth within it.
You can still have
But
truth
it
with
distorts.
passion. You can still have truth with passion, mate. You can
It
still have
distorts
truth
it.
with passion.
It distorts it. You turn it all the way up to 11 and you lose it. Of course, that's my view. And where I seek to go is through calm, reasoned, not hysteria, which is where I'm going. And that's a different path. Different people have different paths, but that's my path. And that's precisely what I try and do over at Chris Cover is not that.
Chris.
But that's also why people love Romeo.
Chris, can you? Yeah, Anthony, I'm gonna
jump off because I've got to have dinner. But thanks for having me on. All right.
Not a problem. See you guys. See you, brother.
Ladies, guys.
Can you explain just real quick before I get Anthony on? Can you explain what Romeo is talking about? So you've betrayed him in what sense? I'm really not in their political like I'm a
he made more than 20 different claims in there. He made more than 20 different claims in there, and I can only take you through the first 30 seconds, which was, is it true or not that Simeon gives you hits? Of course, he gives everyone hits. He gets attention. And when, as I do, which is news reporting.
Don't. He said that you betrayed him. That's a particular.
He doesn't take my phone calls, and that's okay because he's busy. When
have you done anything that stipulates anything in that direction? Not necessarily you betray him, but anything that stipulates anything towards that direction.
I've had very limited phone calls with him. No, and when he had the drama with Craig Kelly and whatever it was, I simply dropped him a text message saying, "I hear you've had a tough week. If you need someone to talk to, I'm there." I haven't been able to speak with Romeo. Each time I've asked to chat with him on a stream about what's been happening, he's referred me to his media manager, who I have not had productive phone calls with. So I haven't been able to get access to him there. But people love Romeo, and he works hard at it. But
what do you mean a media manager?
People have different people who coordinate for them. When you have a significant influence, Romeo has a person who manages some of his contact for him. And I didn't have a productive call with him. It was kind of standoffish. But I would love to speak to Romeo at some time in the future. Although,
so you have no idea where that's coming from. I can't accept that. Like there's a certain feeling towards another person out of thin air. Like there must be something that has driven that.
This week, or in this very phone call, Romeo just said that Joel Jamal betrayed him, Craig Kelly betrayed him, all influencers betrayed him. But the net to which you're focusing on is very broad. That's right.
I'm gonna bring in Anthony to have his say, but I don't completely accept that. Like I think
Why?
there's a lot of
Why?
justification.
Why?
Like, can you go to a quiet?
No, don't drop that there. Don't drop that there. Why? Why don't you accept that? A claim has been made without evidence. Why don't you accept that?
Anthony, go to a quiet place, mate. Yeah, I don't accept that because there's justifications for him mentioning, like Joel Jamal was at an event yesterday and accepted an award after, Romeo had said nothing against Joel Jamal, whatever, do whatever you like. There's
He's presented no evidence of his claim. And this is important. Whenever claims are made, they have to be supported by evidence. And that's always what I try to do whenever I'm making claims. And we've just had someone make claims without them. And this is why I always try to highlight discoveries is you've got to look for some evidence comes with it. Anyone can make any kind of claim. There are Nazis on the moon. There you go. Disprove it. Prove me wrong.
I just want to.
Justification, but go ahead, Anthony. How you been, mate? How's your day?
I'm good. I'm good.
You need to stop chugging Coke.
I'll just show you. I'm at a freedom ball at the moment. I'll show you one sec. Now, I just want to preface that I didn't organize this, but this. Wait, whoops. There we go. That's what should be happening. You know, we've got about, I don't know, 50, 60 of us here.
It's a lot more accessible.
We're all just kicking back,
accessible.
having lunch, having dinner.
Anthony, what? So, from your point of view, all right, this will tailor everything off of the night. I didn't expect us to go through everything. This live has covered a lot, and I'm glad it has, because I think after this live we can now, at least a lot of us can just focus on, as Zach said, the injection towards the kids, and I think that's what we do need to focus on. What, from your perspective, what happened
at the Freedom Ball last night? So I think reflecting on it after yesterday, it felt like that was a probably about 80 to 90% of it was a UAP sponsored event, because you pointed out to me this morning that pretty much no one that we know from the community was there outside of, I don't know, maybe say 10 people. And then the, say, 100 odd other people that were there were all, UAP delegates or whatever you want to call them. But it just got, I don't know, it felt, we spoke about this already. It felt like there was negative energy there. It felt like it was almost a satanic Freemason type dinner. And then the thing that pissed me off was at the start, you had Rukshan, Avi, Craig Kelly, the Aussie Ballsack, and all the other clowns sitting above everyone. And then they're giving each other awards. There was all these people that are being false. They're making false representations of what commitment that they've made and what sacrifices have they made. And no one had the balls to, this is one thing that pissed me off as well. We were talking about this yesterday. No one had the courage to document themselves being there. No one did.
I did it.
You did a little bit, but like I'm talking, so we were talking about this morning and last night. How come everyone that is so
that was actually my
hell-bent,
first live. That was actually my first live.
So many people are so hell bent on, using any event, especially something like this, as an opportunity to broadcast, what they're doing and get their followers up and live stream it. How come none of them were live streamed that they were there last night? Because they were embarrassed that they were there. I'm telling you 100% they were embarrassed to have been there. And that's why no one did it. But then going back to the actual event, it was embarrassing. I wasn't there to see it because I got kicked out by then. But they're giving out jewelry to each other. They're giving out awards to each other.
Was jewelry handed out? I didn't.
Jewelry was handed out. I saw necklaces being handed out.
Wow. Okay.
But no one had the courage to exploit it. So that's what I was doing. I was going there to show everybody, hey, this is the shit show that this thing has become. It's gone from being, something like this, where it's just peeps hanging out at the park and networking,
to rubbing shoulders with your Lord and Savior at a ball, like a cult thing. And we're trying to be against these cult leaders.
Mm. Did you feel that you were like welcomed in there? Like, did you think you were always gonna get kicked out? Like, what was the process running through your mind while you were doing the live itself?
Yeah, I wasn't surprised that I got kicked out, but I also wasn't surprised that I was able to blend in with the crowd, because people knew who I was when I was there. So it sort of didn't come off as if I was, you know, walking into just the Lions Den. I was walking into a community of people that would have known who I was. Even the staff knew who I was there. So, you know, that's why they brought me to a table at one point. They're like, "Hey, I know who you are. Do you have a seat at the table?" But yeah, I just wanted to show everyone that it was just an embarrassing state of affairs, and this is the embarrassing state of affairs that this has become. That's why I'm out here tonight, going back to what this was all about in the first place. And hopefully people don't lose you know, track of this stuff. I want to do something like this maybe next week.
So you don't mind. Okay, so you don't mind that there was an event. You just mind that the way that the event was presented, and then you essentially wanted to
they've lost sense of the whole purpose of what this thing was about in the very beginning. They've lost touch with it. They've lost touch with the mission, the real mission, and that's why people are cracking the shits now.
I might get Joel in here.
While you do that, I will say that I've received a lot of messages today from people asking about it.
And I think Romeo is going to come back in and.
Then I'll jump off.
No,
then I'll jump off. No, I'm okay.
Chris,
no, I've had enough.
Explain your part.
No, you stay, Chris, because you need to hear this. You need to hear.
Why? You're just going to share the screen and make
Romeo.
I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to, because I'm going to do what Chris does. Tone it down, okay? I'm going to do that. When you wanted to arrange this meeting about how to keep the crowd safe, firstly, I want to address Anthony. Anthony, I've known you for a very long time. It's good to see that you're still on track and doing what you're doing.